Wizard Odion. The full moon hung heavy in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the village of Omor. Odion stood at the edge of the forest, his black robes fluttering in the cold night wind. Before him knelt a woman, her face streaked with tears, clutching a small child to her chest. "Please, I beg of you," the woman sobbed, her voice breaking with desperation. "Spare my daughter. She is all I have left." Odion's eyes narrowed, the shadows of the trees dancing across his face. His lips curled into a sneer, cold and unforgiving. The power surged within him, dark and intoxicating. He could feel the magic pulsing through his veins, responding to his will. "You dare defy me?" Odion's voice was low, menacing, as he raised his hand. "You thought you could hide your child from me. After all I've given this village, this is how you repay me?" The woman fell silent, trembling. The villagers watched from a distance, too afraid to intervene. They knew what was coming. They had seen it too many times before. Odion had no mercy, no patience for disobedience. With a flick of his wrist, Odion sent a wave of dark energy toward the woman. She gasped as the magic hit her, her body convulsing before she crumpled to the ground, lifeless. The child's cries pierced the night, but no one moved. Odion turned away, his expression unchanging as the crowd dispersed in fear. He was their master, their ruler. No one could oppose him. Odion had not always been the wicked wizard the villagers now feared. Long ago, he had been a young man, just like any other in Omor. He had been born into a humble family, the son of a farmer, and grew up helping his parents tend to the fields. Life had been simple, peaceful, but Odion had always felt different. He was not content with the quiet life of a farmer. He longed for more, for power, for control. It was during his teenage years that Odion first discovered his gift. He had always been fascinated by the stories of magic passed down through the generations, the tales of ancient sorcerers who could speak to the spirits and bend the elements to their will. One day, while wandering deep in the forest, Odion came across a hidden cave. Inside, he found an old, tattered book, bound in leather, its pages filled with strange symbols and incantations. The book called to him, its power irresistible. Odion took it, studying its contents in secret. He practiced the spells, at first small ones moving stones, controlling the wind, but as he grew more confident, his magic grew stronger. It wasn't long before he realized he could do things no one else in the village could. He could heal wounds with a touch, control fire with a mere thought, and summon spirits from the shadows. At first, Odion used his magic for good. He healed the sick, helped the crops grow, and protected the village from wild animals. The people of Omor revered him, showering him with gifts and praise. But the more power he gained, the more he craved. And as his magic grew darker, so did his heart. The turning point came when Odion stumbled upon a forbidden spell, one that would grant him control over the spirits themselves. It was dangerous, the book warned, for it required a sacrifice of life in exchange for the power. Odion hesitated, but his desire for control was too strong. He cast the spell, sacrificing a young man from the village in secret. The power that surged through him was unlike anything he had ever felt before. He was invincible. With the spirits at his command, Odion no longer needed to ask for the villagers' respect. He could take it. And so, he did. Over time, Odion's reign of terror began. He demanded tribute from the villagers, taking their livestock, their crops, and even their children. Anyone who defied him was swiftly punished, their lives taken without hesitation. The village, that had once revered him now, lived in constant fear of his wrath. But Odion didn't care. The darkness had consumed him, and the power had become his only desire. He ruled over Omor with an iron fist, confident that no one could challenge him. Years passed, and Odion's power grew, but so did his paranoia. The villagers whispered behind his back, plotting in secret to overthrow him. He could feel the unrest, the fear that no longer brought him satisfaction. The spirits he controlled began to turn against him, resisting his commands. And the magic that once flowed so freely now felt strained, unstable. Odion's heart, once filled with ambition, had become hollow. The power he had sacrificed so much for now felt like a burden, a weight he couldn't escape. But it was too late to turn back. He had gone too far. The spirits he had bound to his will now haunted him, whispering in the dead of night, reminding him of the lives he had taken. The villagers feared him, but they also hated him, and Odion knew it was only a matter of time before they would rise against him. One night, as Odion sat in his hut, staring into the flames of his hearth, he felt a presence, something dark and powerful, far greater than anything he had ever summoned. The spirits were coming for him. He had taken too much, defied the natural order for too long, and now they sought to reclaim what he had stolen. For the first time in years, Odion felt fear, but it was too late. The storm that night was unlike any the village had ever seen. The sky turned black, the wind howled, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. Odion, standing in the center of the village, raised his arms to the sky, trying to summon his magic, to call upon the spirits to protect him. But they did not answer. The earth cracked open beneath him, and from the darkness below, shadowy figures emerged, the spirits he had bound to his will, now free and vengeful. Odion screamed, his magic failing as the spirits dragged him down into the depths of the earth, and with him, the darkness that had plagued the village for so long was finally swallowed. The end.